Just 1 week after it seemed York had seen the worst of the floods for 2020, Storm Dennis wreaked havoc and has left the city in an even worse position. Roads were flooded as the river spilled over onto the streets, leaving many locals facing an anxious wait as to whether their properties would escape damage or be safe to return to. And as the day wore on, the afternoon saw the River Ouse peak at 4.41 metres above normal summer levels, which thankfully was slightly lower than the Environment Agency were fearing. But damage has still been done and many were concerned. And one such pub at risk is the Cock and Bottle on Skeldergate, and their owner Mark Fox spoke of what he woke up to this morning.
Well, basically when I woke up, we were sort of expecting the water to be virtually in the pub, actually, which fortunately it hasn't. It seems to have got as far as the pavement when I looked earlier on. Since then it's crept up probably about a couple of inches and that, but hopefully the water keeps off and people can come through the front.
And after going through the terrible floods of 2015, Mark is well aware of the damage it can cause and spoke of this as well as his fears for the week ahead.
Well, my fears are really to do with the flood defences here, whether these new flood defences we got put up in about 2016 or 16-17, I can't remember exactly when it was, by the council. And before that we didn't really have any defence at all here. So I'm just hoping that these new barriers work, because when the flood happens like it did in 2015 and that the whole place was just covered in water and sludge and sewerage and it's pretty disgusting. We were out of action for about a week, but fortunately a lot of our people that come in the pub and gave us a big hand when it all came out, and fortunately we've managed after a couple of days to get back and in action again. But one of the big problems when it happens is it's the smell it leaves. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's getting that smell and everything out of the pub.
But what does a local resident think about this flooding?
Well, it's devastating for people who are, some of the houses at the bottom of the bridge here, the pubs and things like that, it's halfway up their windows, so it must be quite devastating for those people who work and live in there. But I guess they're just kind of used to it now because it happens quite frequently. We moved here in 2018 and this is the worst we've seen it, but we have heard from a lot of people about 2015 and how bad it was. Well, I think they have worked really hard on building flood prevention along the river. There's the big, I don't know what it's called, but it's the big place where they pump out the water and try to alleviate the problem. So I think they're doing their best.
So what are the council saying on the matter as they battle hard alongside the Environment Agency to protect the area? Well, keen to calm the fears, Councillor Keith Ashton on Sunday spoke about their preparations as he said, "We've deployed over 4,000 sandbags across the city and over 200 one-ton sandbags to help the residents in the most at-risk locations. We'll continue to spend the weekend and the week ahead strengthening our flood defences to protect as many homes and businesses as possible. York is very much open for business as we move into the half-term week, and being the friendly city that we are, please also look out for friends and neighbours who may need support, and above all, stay well away from the rivers and flood water." So with the river said to have peaked, the clean-up operations may be able to begin soon as the city hopes to get back to normal. But as ducks walk where people once did, for now and likely most of this week, the levels are still high, and these are anxious and concerning times for many of York's residents living on or near the river. Rory Ward, That's TV.